background, strangely enough, I have a building background. I did an apprenticeship as a carpenter and we went and did post course. So I actually have in those days I had a restricted builder's license. I then decided to get a part-time job pouring beer in the front bar of a hotel back in Adelaide in my hometown. I enjoyed it so much, and at the same sort of time we had Hyatt coming to Adelaide. I was just fortunate to secure a job with Hyatt, and then my career in the sort of more your traditional five-star hotel chains, I suppose, expanded. I was with Hyatt. We went to London for a couple of years, came back to Adelaide, the Hyatt Regency Adelaide, and then I joined the Renaissance New World group. It took me to Sydney. It then brought me to Kuala Lumpur. While I was in Kuala Lumpur at the Renaissance and New World hotels, a large, over 900 room property in Kuala Lumpur with a convention centre, we were taken over by Marriott International. Then I had the opportunity to move across to the JW Marriott in Kuala Lumpur. During the September the 11th, with the Twin Towers incident, I was given an opportunity to move across to Shanghai with the JW Marriott there. Unfortunately, that never eventuated, and I then went and joined a small group called under E&O Burhard and redeveloped the old E&O Hotel, which is one of the old hotels in this whole Southeast Asia region. And then for the last 5 years, I've been here in Thailand. Initially a couple of years down in Pattaya, opening up a very large theme resort under the Sentara group, and then for the last 4 years, having the lovely opportunity to come to Bangkok and work with the Chatrim Group. My first role of a general manager dates back to 1997, actually. I was seconded to a property in Western Australia, in Australia, to redevelop a very old resort into a golf resort. 12 months into the job, having to then turn around and be very honest with the owners to say, look, this will not work, which then gave me the opportunity to come to Kuala Lumpur. That was a development role. That was my first general manager's role, but when I moved to Kuala Lumpur, I took on an executive assistant manager, but specialising in food and beverage. Then when I moved to the JW Marriott, that's when I became I moved back into a general manager's role, but obviously in a larger, more luxury five-star hotel sort of environment. The beauty, I guess, for us is that, being small, being fairly new, we're still discovering what we're still really developing and growing, etc. We're still sort of, continuing to understand what the customer needs are for our particular properties. So, and having that close relationship with owners as well, you get more involved in that whole development process, which is very exciting. Chatrim Hotel and our brand. I guess we have a tendency to move a little bit away from the sort of more traditional hotel style room. As an example, in our hotels we have little kitchenettes. So they're sort of like they're a blend between an apartment and a hotel room, which offers a little, that much more space. I mean, our starting rooms types, the size is 60 square metres, whereas traditionally in a five-star hotel, you're looking at about a 40 square metre room with a little kitchenette, as you can see, with balconies, etc. Every one of our rooms has a balcony, a sizable balcony as well. So it's got a little bit of an apartment feel towards it, but then with obviously the standards of service that one normally expects from a five-star property. We have two hotels per se. We have ourselves here, the Chatrim Riverside, Bangkok. Under the Chatrim management, we also have the Emporium Suites.
Oh, that's you?
That's also us as well. We have 2 residential properties. The Chatrium Riverside here, the Residence Riverside here. We have the Chatrium Sathon as well, which is a more residential style of property. But we also have a property in Yangon under the Chatrium name, Chatrium Yangon. And just recently we've launched our more sort of mid-range brand, the Matria, in Soi 8 along Sukhumvit. Our core markets include both obviously leisure, corporate, as well as MICE business, you know, the meetings and incentives and exhibitions. So, I mean, that's generally the mix of business that we have here. In terms of sourcing, when we first developed the property, we relied upon obviously third parties, your wholesale markets and your online selling channels, to create awareness, and you know, along with all the other sort of more sort of marketing and communicational exercises that we have done. But we've driven a lot of our business in the past, and we've created a lot of awareness through our online. However, with the name being quite well known now, you know, several years ago, Chatrium was not a name, but people are aware of us now. And so what we're working diligently in trying to convert those people into more loyal, regular, repeat guests.